A lot of talk is going on about us having our first woman on the Republican side running for top office of the country as vice president, second office. And it's brought up a lot of talk since Hillary Clinton was running up until not too long ago for the presidential nomination on the Democratic side. So there's a lot of talk about women and women in politics and what matters about it and what kind of a woman should be in politics, or how should women behave when they are in politics, or what would women leadership bring to something, and does it even matter whether someone running is female or male? So a lot has been discussed. The country has been quite caught up in this conversation about women's roles and when women have children and husbands or young children, or whether they should be doing what in politics. And there seems to be a fairly general consensus that we should leave that alone. Their personal choices and their family decisions should be left to them. And that seems like a fair and good choice. I do want to address women and holding authority and holding power as a political office would give. And what does it matter that it would be a woman versus a man? In many things, it wouldn't matter at all. And when they're voted for, one would be hopefully thinking that it's their experience and their integrity and their who they are that is being voted for. That really wouldn't have much to do with gender. But I'd like to talk to you about the positive sides that women could bring to things if allowed to do so. Corporate America has in recent years discovered that not only bringing women, but bringing the feminine element of people, whether it's in men or women, into their top levels can make a big difference in a very positive and economically powerful way. So often the larger corporations have brought in women and brought them up to the higher levels, and they've also started hiring not just technical people in technical firms, but bringing in men who have degrees in the fine arts or in English literature. Because what has happened when they bring in people, say, instead of all engineers or all salesmen, they bring in women and those that are representing the arts or the literature. There's a whole different kind of thinking that goes on. There's another level of a way of consciousness that's brought in that is actually incredibly beneficial to companies. It breaks them out of doldrums into new creative areas. So women in high offices could actually contribute something different by the very nature of being women. But what should that be? What we want to be really careful about is what that is that we contribute if we are able to attain such positions, is the strongest aspect of being female. What would I consider that to be? I would hope that women would bring a greater sense of compassion for all, compassion for the whole population, including the poor and the disadvantaged, the minorities, and the elderly, all those who need extra care. It is in women's nature to be more sensitive about that, as typically they are the caregivers. So women should be bringing to politics a greater awareness of those at the same time as not being sentimental and emotionally calling for things, but actually bringing justice into government. I would love to see more people representing justice in all levels of government. So a woman entering in that should be tough and strong when needed to stave off the influence of big money and of power mongers. And then she should, with that power, bring in the needs of those who our society most tends to forget. She should also bring to it a sense of what it's like to be mother, sister, daughter, child of someone who is in the military. Bring the sense of what it is to lose those one loves to war. And she should have a powerful say in our attaining to peace in our society. Women have, throughout history, at numerous times, they've swung how wars have gone by putting pressure on the men who were running the wars to come home or else. Cut it out. Those are people too. Women should have an innate sense of the people we're bombing and shooting also have mothers and daughters and sisters who love them. That they're also people who are often thinking they're doing the right thing, and often may be. That there are people everywhere that are loved and cared for. So, as women in politics, we need to be strong and hold firm and right where integrity is involved, and we should be soft about all humans having rights. And what can we do to help? And how can we keep everybody's loved ones from being killed in unnecessary combat? So this is what we can bring to it. This is what I want to see women in leadership bringing. I don't want them to be fake men. That doesn't help. They certainly can be as smart and on the ball and educated and sharp and powerful in standing on what they negotiate and what they hold as men anytime. And they should be representing the best of the feminine, which is stand up for justice and for peace and for compassion for all human beings. That's what I want to see with women in government.